It's win or bust.
Yeah, I think the pressures of today will take its toll on the players, and I think, you know, of course these guys can't come back tomorrow with another life. Only one player from this group will be here tomorrow.
Billy Thorpe wins the lap.
And up next on the match table, USA's Billy Thorpe. Your pick for the day. Not going too good, Michael.
Yeah, but as I was saying earlier, if you're going to lose, don't lose big. I mean, it's a couple of 5-4 defeats, so if he can get a few wins under his belt, that will give him a chance in the Racks countback that it would come down to. But yeah, needs to find a win soon, and he's got the break.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed Billy has decided to break a little bit harder today. He has said that he takes a lot of confidence when he kind of breaks a little bit harder, so I kind of understand that as well. And as you said, he's lost a couple of hills so far, so he's been well in the running.
Yeah, the last match there a few minutes ago, 4-1 down to Mark Bijsterbosch, but he battled and made it a hill finish.
That was a nice shot there from Billy. He had to draw the cue ball back all the way down table.
Alex Kazakis has just gone 3-0 up on Jasmine Ocean. I think she'll be feeling totally different now that she's got a win under her belt, because she's one of 3 women in the tournament. The other 2, Christina Tkach and Kelly Fisher, both made a bit of an impact, got some wins. Kelly got quite a few of them. So she won't have wanted to be the only one to come away without a win. And that wasn't good from Thorpe.
No, his nickname is Billy the Banker, regarded by, well, probably all the professionals on the circuit as the best bank pool player there is, and to put it bluntly, he's not made many banks this week.
Some of the worst banking we've seen since the days of the financial crisis.
Denis Grabe has only played 1 match so far. This is his second, and of course he beat Jasmine Ocean in the opening match of the day, so...
Yeah, and didn't actually play well at all. It was a poor quality match. They both made lots of mistakes. He didn't have to play well to win. You suspect he'll have to play well to win this one, so this might be the first real telling match in terms of what sort of form he's in.
Yeah, he played a good pot there, but he had an absolute beauty of a roll to get on this purple 5. He's lost the cue ball again here. That's worked out nice. Natural angle will take him over towards the brown 7. So it's nice to steal a rack where your opponent's been at the table and made a mess of it, but he needs to just take a bit of attention to this. He does have a tendency to miss the odd ball, does Grabo. Very much a confidence player. When things are going his way and he feels good, he can be a hard man to catch. Slightly under it's this ball. He should have been, well, anywhere straight would have been lovely. Now he's got a thin cut, and you can see he's like just signalling his arm as if to say, hit it a bit harder, Denis. But he makes the 8 ball, job well done. Denis Grabe is about to steal his first rack from Billy Thorpe.
And he'll have the break in the second. He's from Estonia, recently turned 31, and his breakthrough really came 2014 at the Austrian Open, won his first Euro Tour title. They wouldn't be the very biggest events in the game, but they're really hard to win. They play some long matches, very strong fields in them, particularly these days when so many of the top players are from Europe. He beat Nikos Economopoulos 9-1 in that final, and having done that, he only went and won the next one as well. In Slovenia, beat Mark Bijsterbosch in the final. Good run at the World 9 ball then, a couple of years later, 2016. Had some good wins against Mieszko Fortunski, Wu Cha-Ching, and then Daryl Peach. Heavily beaten, though, in the quarterfinals by the former US Open champion Kevin Cheng. He's gone on to do well in the Euro Tour in subsequent years. Reached another final in Austria, losing to Alex Kazakis in 2018. And his best year really was 2019. He topped $30,000 for the first time, and it was his best year on the Euro Tour. Went to the Veldhoven Open in the Netherlands, beat Bijsterbosch in the semis, heavily beaten by Mario He in the final. Then got to the semis in Klagenfurt. Again faced Bijsterbosch, but this time lost in a hill-hill finish. But put it all right after those near misses in the Antalya Open, the last event of the season. Beat Fedor Gorst in the semis, just before Gorst became world champion. And then a comfortable 9-2 winner over Ekland Kachi in the final. His third Euro Tour title, 5 years after his second. And he finished second in the overall Euro Tour rankings that season, behind Joshua Filler. So he was in some good form before tournament action, was effectively suspended by COVID, and he leads 1-0 here.
Over on table 2, Alex Kazakis, he's off to a good start in the match. It's an important match for Alex. He lost his opening game today. He's playing Yasmin Olsen. She's played 2-1-1, so big things unfolding over there. You just get the feeling today he's going to be a big story come the end of the night.
It's funny though, isn't it? Every night we look at it and say, oh, it's going to be so tight tonight. And then often what happens is, as we've seen through the week, you just get one result or maybe two that come in and suddenly provide a lot of clarity. I mean, Billy Thorpe had that situation last night when he went into the last match knowing he only needed to win one rack. And once he had, that was it resolved. I was talking about the good year that Grabe had in 2019, and the early signs in 2020 were that he might deliver more of the same. He was runner-up to Ekland Kachi in Ostend last February, and that really was just before the action stopped. So many players in the field this week were just starting to build real momentum in their careers when everything shut down. It's by no means a guarantee they'll be able to pick up from there as things gradually reopen.
Well, the good thing is they've got a lot of pool with the Matchroom Pool Series events coming up, so it's a chance for these guys and girls to get the cues out and start competing again. This looks quite tight in the side. Don't be surprised if Denis does play it up the rail. I think he can drop it in the middle, so it's not the end of the world. There you see. Just important you aim far jaw on that type of shot. Alex Kazakis is on the hill on table 2, so not looking good for Yasmin, but she does have a win next to her name. This looks pretty good speed from Grabe. He's a very tall fella, or Grabe, isn't he, Michael?
Yeah, and he's off to a flyer here. He's already got a win on the board, and with that break and run, he opens a 2-0 lead over Billy Thorpe. A lot of different countries have had a player represent Europe in the Mosconi Cup over the years, Carl, since it began in 1994. So much competition for places at the moment, and so many really good players who have not made the team yet. Is Denis Grabe good enough, do you think? Not necessarily this year, but at some point in the next few years to get to that level.
Yeah, I think, you know, with the way you can qualify for the Mosconi Cup team, you know, the points, he's He's certainly going to be up there at some point and knocking on the door to get his automatic spot. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, the next 2 or 3 years that does happen. Would he get a wild card pick? Tricky question. He would have to really kind of... The thing with the wild card picks, Michael, is you've kind of got to go on one a bit and maybe snap off the World 9 ball, semis in a World Masters, you know, and then add it all up and go, well, he's having a phenomenal year, you know. Otherwise, you're just not really going to get the wild card because, you know, the captains of the teams, both teams, really, you want to be picking someone who's got the experience, someone that's, you know, had a good time in the Mosconi Cup and won singles matches and doubles matches.
The thing is, there aren't many places to go around. It's only 5-man teams. Now, Jason Shaw owned the Mosconi Cup last December. You feel for the next few years he'll pretty much be in there every time. Joshua Filler, you would expect, would be in the same sort of situation with his current situation in the game, and maybe Eklund Kachi is even getting towards that, so it doesn't leave too many places for everyone else. And when you've got someone like Fedor Gorst who got into the team for the first time in 2020, every possibility he could become a regular as well. So it may be in the next few years you might have 4 players in the team every year, and then really the rest are scrapping every 12 months for just one place.
Well, you've just touched on a good thing there, because you said Jason, Fedor, Kachi. It's not Fedor, sorry, you said Jason, Filler and Kachi, but Fedor's the current world 9-ball champion. So it's just, Europe is packed with, you know, options, but I think on a whole, when you look at, you know, the guys you want to play in the team, it's probably not as wide open as you think, even though Europe has, you know, has got loads of players. But, you know, when you're talking about the Mosconi Cup, certainly with 3,000 fans in it, all of a sudden you might have, like, you know, 50 great European pool players, but actually you might only have about 8 that you would pick.
Yeah, and it might seem strange that the one member of the winning team from last December I didn't mention there was Albin Ocean, because he's got such a great record in the tournament. But Albin hasn't quite been able to get to that level yet where he's in it every time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the captaincy changes every, well, whenever, 3 to 4 years or something, and it is hard to pick, and there's a lot of players, as I said, but you know, everyone's got their own vision and, you know, their own kind of insight. Speaking of Mosconi Cup, Billy, he's off the board.
Yeah, he trails 2-1 now against Denis Grabe. More in a moment.
This championship is being played with the new Aramet tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best pool balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My Aramith range of ball and cue cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My Aramith, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
Billy Thorpe is Billy no wins at the moment after 2 defeats to Mieszko Fortunski and Mark Bijsterbosch, and he's behind in this match against Denis Grabe. Solid third rack from the American, but Grabe still leading 2-1, and he'll start us off in rack 4.
Rack number 4.
Yeah, Billy can consider himself one lucky man in that last rack. Huge fluke. Gets him off the board. Grabe switching sides on the break. The glove. Not really spoke about the glove, have we, Michael? I wonder how many players are not wearing a glove.
I think most do, probably the majority.
Yeah, I know Chris doesn't. I'm just trying to think.
Chris Robinson.
Chris Melling didn't.
Oh, Chris Melling, of course, yeah.
You look like you'd wear a glove, Michael, when you play. You look the sort.
What sort is that, Carl?
The glove-wearing sort.
Yeah, good answer, but doesn't mean anything. No, I've never worn a glove playing snooker or pool.
Don't see it in the snooker world, do you?
You do a bit. Nigel Gilbert, Ian Graham. I know there have been 1 or 2 others, but yeah, it's very rare.
Top snooker players, then.
Apologies to either Nigel or Ian if they're listening.
You know
there.
what I mean, like
yeah.
The top 16 bracket or 32. You just don't see them, on TV. Like Ronnie's never rocked up. I'm surprised he's not rocked up wearing a glove, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's done everything else.
Yeah. I think one of the Chinese players, the up and coming ones.
Yeah, I think you're right. I can't think which one it is.
But in pool, it seems to be a big thing. I mean, the likes of myself, Darren Appleton, Darryl Peach, Mellin, the English guys didn't really bother with them. It seems to be a European-American thing. If anything, it's a good way to get another sponsor logo on, I suppose.
It's probably half the reason they wear them. It's like you never see a pro golfer now, really, very much without a hat, since they thought of putting names on them.
Yeah, not like they're not rich enough already. So Billy's going with a jump shot. It's it a little bit too full. He needs a roll here, and I think he's got one. Well, he's not left a pot. But I think Dennis might be able to put Billy in a little bit of trouble. Especially if he can hit this full. If he can hit this ball full, Billy's going to be in a world of trouble. Billy Thorpe sporting a wonderful mullet. Did you ever sport a mullet back in the day?
I might be getting close to one now. I've not been able to go to a barber's for so long. Nah, that was never my scene. Big fan of the 1980s, but never took it to those extremes. They seem to be coming back in now.
So Billy's kicking at this one. It's quite a big target. Could pot it. Needs to hit it though. Graybo's got ball in hand. On table 2, that match has just started out. Kazakis has stayed on that table, just recorded a 5-0 win over Yasmin. Yasmin, one of 3 lady players to be invited into this tournament. Kelly Fisher, well, what a tournament she had, Michael.
Yeah, and in a way, seeing performances like that and the results she got, it almost weakens the case for women's pool developing, because you see the players coming in and getting results. Christina Tkach didn't do too bad either, and then you think, well, maybe that's the future, just men and women playing against each other at the highest level.
Do you think men and women, as in the same amount of women in the event as the men, not just 3 and then the rest of men? I'm on about proper equal events. Do you think that would have a future in the game? Because it doesn't happen in other sports or games, does it?
In the long term it might. At the moment, there just isn't the depth among women players. If you take the 16 best men and the 16 best women, the 16th best male player is still going to be really, really good. But is the 16th best female player, are the others around that level, are they going to be able to compete?
Probably not 16. I would say 8 would be sufficient. You could pick 8 because, I mean, there's some unbelievable Asian lady players. I mean, unbelievable, like Lu Xia. It's a top Filipino lady. There's a lot of them. Simin Cheng,
Yeah.
That was the lady I was thinking of. Then you got Han Yu, who nearly beat Shane Van Bonen the last time we had the World Pool Masters, let's not forget. She was 6-3 up on the ledge.
In a way, though, this is what I'm saying. It's like the women's game is very, very fragmented, and it's a bit on and off. You can't rely on there being a regular series of tournaments to play in. So maybe if those players really want to make a career, they need to come over to the open side of it, as it were, and that's the only way they're going to get consistent tournament action. So I think in pool that may well be the future. And when you see how capable some of them have proved to be this week, I think that underlines that. Denis Grabe is proving fairly capable here. He now leads Billy Thorpe by 3 racks to 1 as he looks to make it 2 wins from 2 matches.
Yeah, things starting out okay on day 7 for Mr. Grabe. He's going along nicely. Yeah, any of you lady players are tuning in, get your email sent in to Emily. Try and get your spot in one of these tournaments. We'd love to see you play. I'd love to see somebody like Lu Xia or Simin Cheng, you know, that top caliber current 9-ball pool player in the event.
Well, I remember in Las Vegas around about this time 2 years ago, Carl, we were both there, and I don't know if it was you in the box with me, but I remember commentating on Simin Chen winning a match, quite comfortably in fact, on the main table there, the TV table as it were.
Yeah, she ended up going quite deep, didn't she, in that event? And she played event just before that one in Las Vegas, and I think she got to like the final 16 or something, and she's a scary player.
Golden break on the other table for Alex Kazakis. Well, I think that was the opening rack.
Yeah, we've probably had about 5 golden breaks this week around that number.
I would say that's pretty much spot on.
So that shows how, you know, how much luck you do need to get one, because I'm sure Michael's got the stat of how many racks we've played somewhere. If not, we will have it to you before the end of this session.
I'll be making big promises that I can't keep, Carl.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stitch up, that, isn't it,
yeah,
Michael? Counting them racks.
You make enough big promises that you can't keep.
Oh. So Billy has got a tricky little shot here. He's no shot on the 1.
Naoki Oi, of course, started with a golden break in the opening rack the other night. That was in the group final, wasn't it?
I'll take your word for that one, Michael.
Just as well one of us is paying attention. It wasn't actually the opening rack. Kazakis, I'm just seeing now, is actually 2-0 up, so that was the second rack there. I think it was for Oi the other night, but second rack for Kazakis. Yeah,
the 9-ball that stands out in my mind was the Mark Beisterbosch 9-ball, the fluke 9 at 4-4. It was incredible. Me and Niels was in the comment box for that, and we was screaming quite embarrassingly, to be fair. You never know what you get on a pool table. It often throws up a lot of surprises, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, when you get your chance to win, you have this bit of a surreal feeling, because sometimes you don't get that chance, and it puts you under a weird kind of pressure. We've seen it with Gomez. He missed a 9-ball to qualify for tomorrow, and now he's not here.
Yeah, and equally so when you're behind in a match, even a long way behind, you really should keep battling, because you might think it's impossible to turn it round, but weird things can happen. You can get a golden break. The other player can scratch from the break and leave you with a clear run out. Only 10 balls on the table, and it's a fairly small playing area, but it's amazing how many different stories get written on it in the course of a week.
Nice cross bank there, and as he set up a combo, I think he has. This can be made.
He's breaking on the hill if he gets it. And he almost did.
Yeah, that's a poor miss from Dennis. He will be fuming because that was like... I mean, he's overcooked this. It's like unforgivable to send that to the far draw. Even though that, but it's so important. It'd have been 4-1 up. Now he's let Billy off the hook, and he's made it.
Yeah, that could be a big moment in the match. Grabe set up the 4-9 combination. Wasn't able to see it through, but left the chance for Thorpe to do the same, and he did deliver. So, Grabe looked like he was going 4-1 up, instead of which Thorpe now just one behind at 3-2. And on the other table, Alex Kazakis continues to motor along. He's just gone 3-0 up against Kasper Matikainen, who really needs to find a win after losing his first 2 matches. So all your talk, Carl, about having tournaments, equal number of men and women, you going to put one on for some Blackpool? You going to get an event on? This could be your future. You're not playing anymore.
Well,
could be a promoter.
I think I'll leave that to the leaders in promotion, Matchroom. I think it's safer for everybody if I just hide away in this room with you, Michael. Unless you're trying to get rid of me, of course.
Well, I didn't want to say it, you know. And that's only because I certainly didn't mean that. So Billy Thorpe battling away here. He needs a win, you know. He's lost his first 2, both in close finishes. And I was saying, losing close matches keeps you in it because it can go to a count back of racks. But of course, you've got to get the wins along the way, and he could really do with one here. Denis Grabe, though, has the break, leading by 3 racks to 2.
Yeah, and his next ball is the red 3 at the bottom, so Billy will be happy to know that he's going to get back to the table. This is a very generous safety shot, though, for Dennis, so Billy could be kicking at this ball. He's just coming round looking where he wants the cue ball. Often you'll see players line up like a row of balls, so it's like in a line, so it's like a bigger target. So he's going to push the 3 on the side rail and the cue ball on the opposite side, but he's hit this all wrong. And can Billy Thorpe get through to the potting angle? If he can, that is a poor shot, Dennis. I mean, it's a poor shot regardless, even if he can't see the potting angle, because he should have been hooked on the 3.
Just want to go back to that conversation we were having about the golden break. A lot of people might not actually know what that means. People who are perhaps watching pool for the first time or are relatively new to it. Basically, the golden break is when you pop the 9 ball on the break. Now, you need a bit of luck. Basically, you need another ball to come along and kick it into one of the pockets, probably the side pockets more often than not, because so long as you always hit the lowest value ball on the table, any pot is a legal pot. And if that happens to be the 9 ball, then you've won the rack. So that's what we mean by golden break.
Yeah, I've often thought one day will we ever see the 9 ball like the colour gold just for that reason, but it's not happened yet.
Or maybe you could have the player who makes the most of them in the tournament gets a sort of solid gold 9 ball.
There you see, it does sneak through, but it's so tight. He plays a wonderful shot there. You can often miss them shots because you know you've only got a little bit of the pocket to work with. And so Denis Grabe had a great chance to go 4-1 up. You make that small error and before you know it, it's 3-all. Billy Chance with a great chance in this rack.
It's like I was saying earlier, even when you're a bit behind in a match, you've got to keep plugging away because something can happen to turn it round, and it might not even be something you do. You could be sitting in your chair. By the time you get out of it, your whole situation in the match has changed. That's what happened with the 4-9 combination. But Grabe missed and Thorpe made. This is Grabe's one.
Yeah, that missed combo could come back to haunt Denis, it really could. He's still in this match, nicely poised.
Sometimes I think we go a bit too far, looking for things to be a turning point in a match, but that's a really obvious one. Denis Grabe was on the brink of 4-1. Instead, it's 3-3, and we're heading for another close finish. That's up next.
Going to the bottom cushion, maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Albanuchin.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution.
Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
This championship is being played with the new Aramith tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best pool balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My Aramith range of ball and cue cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My Aramith, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
Billy Thorpe, the American Moscone Cup player from Ohio, is battling back here in a match that he really needs to win after losing his first two. He trailed 3-1 against Denis Grabe of Estonia. Now it's 3-all, and Thorpe has the break in rack 7.
Is he going to have a shot at the one ball? He isn't, and I don't know if that is a combo onto the pink.
Sort of feel it would have to be made. He'd have to hit the left-hand side of the one. Try to judge it correctly. Might get a better idea from here.
Yeah, he's playing safe, that's fair enough. Doesn't want the... Nah, he's got a good cue ball, that's fine. So pretty good shot there from Billy. Kasper Matikainen from Finland, he's having a bit of a nightmare today. He's played 2 and he's lost both, and he's currently trailing on table 2 against Mr. Kazakis 4-0. So early signs not good for Kasper, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he was a bit like Thorpe. He'd lost his first 2 matches, but they were both close. So that meant if he could get a few wins, he'd be in contention in the Rax Countback shake-up. But then that changes a lot if you then go and lose your next match 5-0. He lost his first 2 yesterday, but then turned it round, managed to get a win in his 3rd. Unlikely he's going to do so today. Meanwhile, eventful moments here for Denis Grabe.
Yeah, Graybo's going airborne, and as you see, he slots this one ball in the corner. Cue ball rattles the jaws. He's still at the table. Yeah, of course, Kasper, you know, you've got to make the semi-finals today, so it's no use staying alive. 5th and 6th is no good today. One player will advance to tomorrow's grand finale. Everyone else, well, they'll be on the way home. Decides to play safe, and Grabo has played some pretty shocking safes so far in his day's play, and that is a horrible one. He's just basically put the 2 ball over the pocket and said, there you go, Billy, get on the hill, my friend.
Yeah, he's not played brilliantly, you would say, so far today. Certainly didn't play well in his first match, and yet still got every chance. He could go 2 wins out of 2. But these are big moments here. If Thorpe loses this, Grabe will be breaking on the hill. And he really shouldn't make any mistake from this possession.
This just magnifies how, you know, cutthroat it can be. When you have an opportunity, no matter how big or small, if you don't take it, the match can just go bang and turn on its head. He had such an easy combo at this level to go 4-1 up. And because he missed it, well, Billy Thorpe's about to go on the hill. This really, if Billy Thorpe was to go on and win this match, it really throws the group wide open, because Billy's not got a win yet, has he?
No. Well, what he has done is take 3 racks in a row here, and he leads Denis Grabe 4-3, but still very much in the balance. The man from Estonia has got the break in the next rack. He's been talking about playing in a tournament in Alabama in the coming week, but I think it depended on how long he stayed in this tournament. I think certainly if he's still here tomorrow, he won't be able to get back in time to play in it. Let's see what's going on next door. Kasper Matikainen still battling away here, trying to avoid the donut. But everything must be seeming quite difficult to him at the moment. Picked it up a bit yesterday after such a nervy start, so I expected more of him today. Having said that, it's not as if he's been hopelessly exposed or out of his depth. Nevertheless, it could well be 3 defeats from 3. But at least he should get a rack on the board in this one. And that'll actually be followed for Matikainen by a match against Billy Thorpe. They could both be in real need of a win by then. Thorpe, though, has more chance than Matikainen of going into that, having got his first win of the group. He leads 4-3, but Denis Grabe will start us off in the vital 8th rack.
Denis Grabe would pay good money for an easy layout to get himself on the hill. Well, that has just come right into tuition. I've called that one in, Michael. Look at the split he's got here.
Yeah, really worth another look. 3 balls down, so he doesn't have much work left to do. And what work he has is not that difficult.
He'll play this off 2 or 3 rails anywhere over the left. Don't be scratching though, Grabe. You're getting a little bit close to the middle there. That was a bit of a heart in the mouth type moment there for Denis, but it turns out that it's not. Well, he's a bit straight on it. Let me take that back. He might be able to roll through and play the 5 in the middle, or he could draw back with spin. Let's see what he does. Yeah, that's fine. Rolls it through. Key shot. He's going to be the 8 to the 9. We see it so often on a pool table when the 8 ball goes up past into the kitchen line. So that's the top end behind the breaking line. Now and again, the pros will play a positional shot and not quite land right on the 9, and you do see them missed now and again. Yeah, this is the shot I was talking about, all about pace and line. If he spins it off 2 rails, he'll always guarantee himself a shot, but sometimes in your mind, you want to try and get straight on the 9. It's a funny one, so let's see what Grabe does. So he plays it off the 1, comes down, pace looks really nice, that's fair enough. We're going hill-hill, Michael.
8 to the 9, Denis to the G. He's going hill-hill with Billy T.
Denis Grabe.
Making songs up now in the box on day 7.
Okay, I'm going to be really cruel to you here, Kyle. I've asked you to call group finals. You asked me to call the group winner earlier. It's hard to pick the winner in a hill-hill finish. Billy's got the break. What do you reckon?
I think I'm going to go with Denis. I'm going to go against the breaker. I think something's going to happen on the break. The ball's going to come out a little bit funky, and I think I'm going to go with Grabe. Obviously, you've got to go with your man.
Well, I've got to, really, haven't I? Yeah, because I backed him to win the group. Come on, Billy. I thought we were mates. You've not delivered for me yet.
Yeah, it'll be Billy no mates if he carries on.
There's Billy no wins at the moment. I kind of used that line at the start, Carl. You don't get to use them once I've used them. Come on, these are the rules of commentary.
I liked it that much, I had to. Denis Grabe, funny character on tour. He's been known to be quite angry at the pool table, and there's a few clips out there of him going AWOL.
Yeah, 1 or 2 of Billy as well. He's got the break in the last rack.
And there you see it, Michael. I've called it in. The 1 ball has stayed on the top rail. But good news for you, Michael. He has got a real good chance of a lock-up safe. If he plays the 1 down and the cue ball hits the 6, it'll stop behind the 8. And there you go. Now he wants it away from the pocket. That's not bad. He'll be more than happy with that, and I'm sure my buddy in the com box is too. Denis just needs to hit this. As obvious as it sounds, it's 4-4. You know, there's no guaranteed kind of kick safe or anything like that. You've just got to... He's just got to make sure he hits it. And there is a small chance if he hits it full, he would pot it. And the 2 balls sat nice, so you never know. I think he's got to go off the 2 rails. There's a bit of a system with his shot. So I expect him to... Well, he's definitely going to go near the corner with a cue ball. So there's a strong chance he will hit this.
It's that classic situation, isn't it? The final rack, you're in a bit of trouble. And you know if you get it wrong, that could be the end of that.
Yeah, he could scratch if he goes below it. He could scratch if he goes below it, and he has scratched.
Great call, Carl.
Ball in hand.
Billy Thorpe was 3-1 down in this match. But he's got a real chance now to turn it into his first win of the group.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a quick glance and see where this can go wrong. 2 to the 3 ball. That's half begging.
Attention,
The
Paul.
main thing is USA's Billy Thorpe, who's not won a match yet today, and he needs a win. He needs to run these balls. Got to make the semi-finals today. That is it.
As I was saying, his next match is against Kasper Matikainen, who's going to be a bit low on confidence and belief at the moment. So if he can just get the W here, every chance to build on it. Denis Grabe looking on with a wry smile.
Yeah, he just seen the cue ball glance the pink. It was not much danger. So Billy's going okay here. He's landed nice on the 4. He can't fail to get the right angle on the purple 5. So this is going to take something silly for Denis Grabe to get back to the table. This is kind of one good shot. I've mentioned about the 8 ball being up top end of the table, where it sometimes is. Shows a lot of heart, does Billy Thorpe, though. He grinds away. He's obviously using a brand new Q brand, and he said he's not still 100% with that, and certain shots he feels a little bit weird with it, so yeah, he's got an angle. He's going to be spinning this round the table. Can go 3 rails, possibly 2. Can't quite see the angle. Grabe can only look on. He's doing all right though, Dennis. He's played one, won one. There you see the 3 rails, and this looks perfect, Michael. Your man, well, he's kept your dream alive.
Yeah, he was my pick to win the group at the start of the day. And now, at least, he's won a match. Billy Thorpe wins 4 of the last 5 racks and beats Denis Grabe of Estonia in a hill-hill finish.